Hello there, my name is Adam Short and I am an Intuit QuickBooks Online Advanced Certified Pro Advisor, and today I'd like to show you how to process and handle billable expense charges in QuickBooks Online. Here we have the QuickBooks test drive file that you can access for free by Googling QBO test drive, and this is a free QBO file that you can experiment with and learn with without worrying about messing up your accounting file. So here we are in the home page of QBO. What we're going to do is we're going to go to customers here on the left sidebar. Now some of your navigations will say clients and sales or customers and sales, depending on if you've enabled the alternative navigation display option. But in our case, it's customers. So here we are in the customers list, and let's go to Bill's Windsurf Shop. This is one of our customers, and I want to go ahead and create an expense that will be marked billable to this customer. During the course of the business or any business, there oftentimes are expenses that should be tagged and tracked to that customer so that they can be later billed to them. QuickBooks provides a really awesome feature that allows you to track those billable expense charges and apply those, or rather add those to invoices down the road. So first of all, I want to go ahead and go up to the plus sign up at the top, and I want to create an expense. And let's say that you were out in the field and you were procuring supplies for a project that was going to be for the benefit of Bill's Windsurf Shop. So let's pick our vendor first of all, and let's say we went to Chen's Gas and Oil and we spent, let's use the American Express card, and let's say we purchased some job expenses. Let's say this was job expenses and that this was for surfing parts. Put that in the description, and let's say that's $100 that we spent at Chen's Gas and Oil. And here you'll see the checkbox billable. Now, by default, it's not checked, and also by default, that option is generally not turned on in QuickBooks. So in order to enable this option to be able to bill expenses to a customer, you have to go to your settings up in the top right corner of your gear icon and enable this. But this is already enabled for us, so I'm going to check the billable box. And then if I was charged sales tax for this particular item, I can also check the tax box, which will pass that amount on to the customer. Now here in the customer field, we want to go ahead and select Bill's Windsurf Shop so that once we save this expense, it will be saved and tracked in that particular customer record so that we can invoice him later. So now that I've finished all of the data entering, I'm going to click Save and Close. And now that expense is saved. Now, when we're back here in the customer area for Bill's Windsurf Shop, you'll see here that this billable expense charge has appeared in the record. And now we have the opportunity to either start an invoice, or we can wait until later to create the invoice for this. But let's go ahead and start the invoice. And what we're going to do is click Start Invoice here on the right-hand side. And what QuickBooks will do will automatically bring that particular billable expense charge into the invoice. And now we have, you see the surfing parts that we had purchased. Now I will tell you there is a known issue with QuickBooks where if you have a description in here and then an amount, and then you go to change the product and service on the left here, oftentimes these fields will zero out, they will clear out. So just be aware of that. Oftentimes what I do is I copy that description. I just have to remember the amount here, or I can click this link right here, it looks like a chain. You can't quite see it. Let me change my column. There's that link, and that link means that that billable expense charge was in fact attached or associated or connected with this particular invoice. So if I forget what the amount is later, I can click that little link and it'll show me the amount. But I'm going to go ahead and select product and service. And typically for reimbursable expenses that you incurred on behalf of a customer, lots of times people like to select a product or service called reimbursement expense or billable expense. In this case, we're just going to pick something else. We're just going to pick, in this case, maintenance and repair. And notice what I had cautioned you about earlier. The description field did in fact change. That's okay. We don't have to have the same description if you don't want to, but our amount, we will have to re-enter that. So that's 100, and we'll leave that as it is. And now let's maybe add an additional service that we performed for him that we're billing him for. Let's say that was an installation, and we spent 5 hours at a rate of $50 an hour. And now we have two different line items on our invoice with a total of $350. And I am ready to send this to Bill. Now I can go ahead and send this via email because his email is up here in the top. So I'll go ahead and click Save and Send. And then here's our preview screen of the invoice that will go over to him. And now you will also have the option to share the link with him. That's a URL that he can view the invoice anywhere on any device. But I'll go ahead and send this. Obviously, with the test drive file, it won't send emails, but that's what happens when the email goes out. It sends you a message, and then next to the invoice, you'll see open, and then in parentheses, sent. We don't see that on the test drive file, but normally that will happen on an actual QuickBooks file. Now up here, you'll see the billable expense charge has been closed because it has been moved and applied to an invoice. And now the invoice is open and payment is ready to be received. And that is the brief overview of how to associate a billable expense charge to a customer. Hopefully this video has been very informative for you. Please do check out our additional videos at shortfinancial.com. Until then, happy bookkeeping. Thank you.